Welcome back to the Hide and Fear Horrors podcast, where we'll review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tuan.
Leon.
and today we're reviewing Orphan First Kill, released in 2022, directed by William Brent Bell, screenplay by David Kogshow, and story by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Alec Mace. Leon, can you give the people the plot summary?
Lena Kramer, a woman with hypopituitarism, looks like a child, escapes an Estonian psychiatric institution by assuming the identity of a missing American girl. She's taken by the wealthy Opry family, but her secret and family owned but her secrets and her family's own dark secrets eventually lead to a violent confrontation. The mother the family's mother Trisha reveals that real Esther was accidentally killed by her older brother Gunnar, and the family had covered it up. The film The film culminates in a fury showdown between Lena and the Albert, which sets up the events of the original movie.
But before we get into our movie, let's go over some Haddonfield headlines this week. First up, we have a new trailer for a new movie that will be releasing next year called Send Help, and it will be from Sam Raimi. This will be kind of horror, dark comedy vibes with with a tinge of survival as well. The movie will be starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, releasing around January 30th of next year, so that beginning of the year, like horror type slot that a lot of movies get, which actually has been pretty lucrative for some movies recently, in recent years. There was, I forget which one came out earlier this year that was pretty good in that area, but while not a straight up horror movie in the way Drag Me to Hell marked Raimi's full on return to horror back in 2009, it's clear from the trailer that Send Help will allow Raimi to flex those muscles again. It seems to be like a violent survival movie with that trademark Sam Raimi humor, and it doesn't seem to involve any supernatural elements, and more so just kind of the relationship with these two characters. Um, to give a little synopsis on the movie, Linda Little, played by Rachel McAdams, and Bradley Preston, Dylan O'Brien, are two colleagues who find themselves stranded on a deserted island after they are only survivors of a plane crash. They must overcome past grievances and work together to survive, but ultimately it is an unsettlingly and darkly humorous battle of wills and wits to make it out alive. So I did see the trailer going around my feeds earlier today, and from the looks of it, which I think it was actually mentioned by Rachel McAdams' character in the movie, it was kind of giving me uh, Misery vibes, like the Kathy Bates movie. It was kind of giving me that type of vibe, but while in that movie, she was obsessed with the author and wanted to like keep him around her. It seems that she's only helping this guy because he's like the only person to help while he's still trying to berate her and be her boss and all that shit. But it looks pretty interesting. Rachel McAdams, I usually like her in projects. Dylan O'Brien, like he's been in more things lately, but personally haven't seen him in a lot of stuff that I watch. So it's always good to see him pop up. I'm a fan of Teen Wolf, so he was good in there. So I'm always excited to see him, see that cast in something. But Mark seems to be excited about this Sam Raimi movie.
Not excited, but intrigued. I am a fan of Dylan O'Brien. I've been a fan since Teen Wolf, and I've seen most, if not all, of his movies at this point. Cause I like him as an actor. He's also not bad to look at. And I love Rachel McAdams. Like I've seen everything Rachel
Mean
McAdams has been
Girls.
in. I'm not gonna lie.
She
I've
was
seen
Regina
all her
George, no?
movies. Yep. It's actually not even one of my favorites. My go-to Rachel McAdams is always one or two movies. It's always The Time Traveler's Wife or The Notebook. Both be having me in tears and destroyed, but they my favorite Rachel movies. Like she kills it every single time. And I love that period when she was just popping up and shit for no fucking reason.
She
I'm
was
think
just a
my
excited.
big
favorite
girl.
I think my favorite one with her, which actually I just showed my mom this week because she hadn't seen it, was Red Eye.
I love Red
Um,
Eye.
yeah,
Cillian
because
Murphy.
I showed her that movie Drop, and she was like, "I want to watch something else like that," and I was like, "Wait, I have something for you," and I showed her Red Eye. She ended up liking both of them.
Mm.
Yeah, I love Red
Also, she was
Eye.
good in that movie Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I loved
She
her in the two Sherlock Holmes movies.
actually never watched those.
They're they're good for what they
Oh,
were at the time.
and my favorite fucking role of her, she was so funny in this movie, Game Night with her and Jason Bateman. That movie is fucking
Yes.
hilarious.
I love that movie.
That is a funny ass movie. Like anytime somebody wants to watch a comedy and they haven't seen Game Night, like everybody likes that movie when it's been recommended.
I would
Because
never
that was
forgive her for participating in Aloha.
funny. A lot of other people. There's so many. There's too many big names in that movie. But
Concept.
this seems interesting though. The trailer looked pretty good here. Um, and it looks to be kind of one of those like bottle movies. So the characters they're only relegated to one location, which is this island for the whole time. So we might be in for something. But as I mentioned, it is that beginning of the year slot. So that kind of slot either means it's slop or it's either going to be some slop or it's going to be good. And they
Hmm.
just want to get that early monies. Elion, you think you're gonna go see this one?
Well, you know what? Honestly, maybe. I will say it gives me an opportunity to go out something new.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments on this on the article about this, and somebody said Raimi's name is more a warning than a recommendation these days. That's crazy.
That's wild.
um, moving on though, we have some updates on Mortal Kombat. While not directly horror, it's a bit horror adjacent. But Warner Bros. Has already greenlit a third movie. The writer who worked on the first two has already stated that he's currently in process of getting the script going for the third one. The second one was supposed to release this month actually, but Warner Bros. Pushed it into the next year and it'll be releasing around May 15th, 2026. It wasn't for any like bad reason, like working on the film, all that stuff. Apparently, Warner Bros. Did so good with their portfolio of movies this year that they were in the green. So they decided to push that movie off to next year so they can get a head start on their financial goals, which never heard a company doing that before. But Warner Bros. Did kill the box office this year, as me and Mark had mentioned a couple times. Um, just in general, they killed it. So,
And
um,
I both love and hate that they killed it this year because now people are trying to buy them, and I don't want them. I don't want that to happen.
as if they didn't just go through that whole fucking Discovery shit.
Mm.
But I think we talked about it before. But did you see the first Mortal Kombat, Mark, like the newer one?
I did. I will. I will say. I would admit. I am a Mortal Kombat movie fan. I've seen them all. Uh I have complaints about that first one. Like it was good. I got what they were going for, but they lost me with that new character. And I'm usually all for like having a new entry character to get the new people in, but they could have kept that all of that.
Well, if you have
I'm
seen the
excited for the
preview,
sequel.
yeah, they're going with Johnny Cage now. But Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, I'm still not on board with. I mean, I like him a lot as an actor. Like he's always been good in projects, but I don't know. He just doesn't give me Johnny Cage. But either way, I'm still going to see this movie. I'm glad that my girl Tati Gabriel is going to be in here as Jade. Need that. Um, yeah, they're bringing Katana, a lot of other characters along in this one, and as we heard just a little bit ago, third one is already on the way. So I'm excited. I like what they did with that first one, and I hope the scale is just brought up a little more in this one, and also just like in general about this newer one that they got some really good fighters, like actors that are also really good at like stunt and fight choreography. So that I'm a fan of. A lot of these gentlemen I've seen, and women as well. I've seen in a lot of other movies, and they always do good with like their fight choreography. So interested to see how that goes. And Mortal Kombat 3 will be coming soon. On to the next story. We have the first teaser for the Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot that Mark will be having us watch later this year.
Mm-hmm. Part of our Christmas reviews.
The remake will be coming into theaters unrated on December 12th, and the teaser, very short, about 30 seconds or so, gave us a couple of showings of how the gore was, very Terrifier esque from the trailer, which makes sense given that I'm pretty think this remake is coming from that same company that put out Terrifier. So interested to see how this is going to go. We know that Campbell is playing the main character in this one. He was famously in Halloween Ends as that character that I did not care for. Um, but yeah, Mark, are you excited for this remake?
Um, no, no, not really. I'm not a huge like Silent Night, Deadly Night fan. Like I've seen the first one. Mm, Like I know it's a franchise that exists. It has a decent following, but I've just never really paid any attention to it myself.
Okay, okay. Well, we can move on then to our next update, which is about Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which Mark will probably also be reviewing with Deadeye sometime soon, whenever that when that comes out later in December. Will that be a part of the like Christmas catalog as well, or would that be a
No,
later next
no.
year review?
December is strictly Christmas movies.
All right, so you guys have heard it here now. Five Nights at Freddy will begin the review, but later on into the next year. We In this update though, we have some new cast announcements. One of them being Megan Fox. Um,
Why?
yeah, I wish. I,
Why? What? Who? What?
she will just be doing a voice, I will say.
That's too much.
But yes, Megan
What's wrong
Fox.
with Megan Fox?
eh, Megan
Like,
Mm,
Fox has
is
signed
it just
on as Toy Chica in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Um, but also Matt Pat
okay.
from Game Theory will be voicing Toy Bonnie, which I'm excited for him to be able to do that.
oh man? Didn't he retire from YouTube too?
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
I miss him.
I'm
You're a great guy.
excited. I'm excited for him to do that. Um, just I just like the fact that they even brought him on to do anything in these movies, from his little cameo in the first one to now just being able to do a voice acting role in this one. He has a very animated voice anyway, so I could see him being good at some voice acting. I don't know if he's done any in the past, but I can see this working out. And he's a genuine fan as well, so I don't see, why not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the sequel, though, 1 year has passed since the supernatural nightmare and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The stories about what transpired there have been twisted into a campy local legend inspiring the town's very first Fest. Former security guard Mike and police officer Vanessa have kept the truth from Mike's 11-year-old sister Abby concerning the fate of her animatronic friends, but when Abby sneaks out to reconnect with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, it will set into motion a terrifying series of events revealing dark secrets about the true origins of Freddy's and unleashing a long-forgotten horror hidden away for decades. So, this will be back, as I mentioned, on December 5th, 2025 in theaters. The creator of the franchise, Scott Cawthon, who made all the original games. He did the script for the movie, and Jim Henson's Creature Shop returned to do the animatronics, which were on point in the first one. I will say the animatronics looked great in that first movie. The initial cast is all returning from the first one: Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lau, Matthew Lillard. But we will also have some new people joining, including McKenna Grace and Skeet Ulrich. So it will be a mini Stu and Billy um, reunion. Our gay boys are back together.
Gay is crazy.
Billy and Stu were a gay couple, and you'll never not convince me of that.
This is you watch scary movies.
You didn't need to watch Scary Movie to see that. That subtext was when subtext.
Loud and clear, actually.
Moving on though. I think Mark might like this one. The Revenge of La Llorona. The Curse of La Llorona sequel finally gets underway.
No. Leave that woman in the grave.
Why
How do we
does that
feel
need
about
to
this?
happen? Why does that need to happen?
Leave that woman in the grave.
Yeah,
Like,
how do
I
we
know
feel about that?
How do you think we
released
feel?
they released this movie originally to have it be tied to the Conjuring universe. And then because it did
I don't
so
know.
poorly, they're like, psych, it's no longer part of the Conjuring universe. Even though we saw that same fucking priest in the Conjuring movies. And so, but
Now,
she was defeated. Like, is she coming back? I'm so like what?
yeah,
Okay,
I will say I
this
might give
isn't
this one a
needed.
try
I'm gonna watch it.
because it is it's not Michael Chavez doing it, it's a different director.
Oh, you should have started with that.
I
Why
don't
you even
know. For
start?
me, it's like I don't know how you make
Why you
I don't know how you make a
wait like
story
this?
about
Like
Yeah,
you
so this will be a different director. It will be directed by Santiago Mengini. He did I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie. This was a Netflix movie called No One Gets Out Alive. It was a horror movie.
what figured
oh,
it
I've
out.
seen that.
Yeah, he directed that one. I feel like I watched that.
I don't know. I've heard it, but I never.
I know I
But
watched it, but I
yes.
don't remember what the hell.
We should add it to the.
Yep, but according to this article, the Curse of La Llorona, the one that released in 2019, was a surprise breakout hit for Warner Brothers, grossing 123 million worldwide despite its lackluster critical reception. And that's of note as the sequel was shelved multiple times, even as early as 2024. But sources from the Hollywood Reporter speculate that the massive success of Final Destination Bloodlines may have instilled confidence in horror sequels' abilities to perform with audiences. Now, Warner Bros., we were just singing your praises, but we waited like 10 plus years for Final Destination. That's different. We will see. I mean, I hope the director brings something different because, yeah, Michael Chavez, I've just not been a fan of his style with the Conjuring franchise for a minute now, and he's done the last like 4 to 5 movies in the franchise, which is kind of crazy to me
I
still.
don't
I would like to
know
know
why.
what information he has on the executives. Um, but yeah, I might give this one a shot. Different, different coat of eyes. So we will see what comes of this. Also, it looks like all the cast are Latino instead of Linda Cardellini, which we love Velma. We love Linda Cardellini.
I love
But
Linda,
why are you being but why are you here?
but knowing that Michael isn't a part of it, that that took my excitement from 0 to like 4.
Yeah. But that is all I have today with our Haddonfield headlines. I will kick it back to Mark so we can discuss Orphan First Kill.
Orphan First killed the. I was gonna say the long-awaited sequel prequel to Orphan, but I don't I don't ever remember people like clamoring for a sequel or a prequel Orphan movie. Like I do remember that the first movie was loved and well received and got a lot of critical praise and stuff, but I don't remember like people begging for a sequel. And I remember when this got
Well, the
announced, I
thing,
thought, "Oh, go ahead."
no, well, the thing is, you have to understand, like, a majority of all the films, like, they ended with that one scene where she just literally dies. So that's why nobody really kind of thought of a sequel, even though some people had the alternative ending where she survived. But I guess they created a prequel, which, like, yeah, it was a good prequel, but on top of that, it was just like, I felt it
I
was
just
just
like
like basically
I
the
didn't
same.
think I just didn't ever think this it was something that the people wanted. Like I
No, no,
don't
yeah,
think
exactly. I feel like it was
the
just trying to
orphan
poke a
was
buck
ever
at
on
it.
his. Yeah, like I don't think the orphan was on anybody's mind. Like people were just happy
It was a
to
good
rewatch
film
that.
for the time.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. It's
but
like one
like
of those
anything
films that
after
you need
that,
to go watch.
yeah, anything after that, had no expectation. I remember when they announced it in like 2021 and like 2020. I remember, they announced it in like 2020 because they were doing like the shoots then. And I was like, oh, this got to be we broke due to COVID cash grab. We need something to get the books up because there's no other reason why this movie would have been made. And
Right.
like, not saying it was a bad movie, it's actually a good movie. And I do like the twist because my whole worry about going into this movie was okay, what sold that first one on your first time watch, you don't know that Esther is this grown ass lady. You think she just some crazy ass kid, and then boom, nope, she actually some 33-year-old lady. So I was kind of trying to figure out what the twist was going to be in this one, and then when we get to the twist, it's like, oh, okay, this is good. But what about you, Elion? This is the movie that you picked. What were your thoughts on Orphan First Kill? And this was your first time watching, right?
Yeah, I've seen clips of it, but I've never really paid attention to what the film itself, like, don't get me wrong, I did like it. I would watch it. There's no denying that. It was just more of like, just like you said, it was one of those films where you're like, the fans weren't really thinking about it because at the end, like, they made it really good to the point, like, kind of like, don't need more. I was hoping it was a different direction, and I'll go more into detail throughout the whole, like, podcast. I was kind of hoping more that they kind of did like a childhood thing where why she's so deranged. Because obviously she literally has daddy issues. She literally obviously wants the husband. She obviously wants love. So I kind of wanted to know what really happened per se. I felt like the film also was kind of like they were just showing like more kills that she's done, and like it just felt like an extra over like an actual film.
So when this was announced to actually come out, I wasn't even sure if it was like going to be a direct, like if they were going to try to like pull some she was alive and coming back type of thing, or as we got it here, it was a prequel. When I did find out about it being a prequel, I was like, okay, who's going to play Esther? Oh, Isabel Furman. Isn't she like
I
20
really liked
something
that they
now?
kept the same actor.
Yeah,
Mm,
Look, I understand like she got older, obviously with time, but the thing is, they did the best they can. One with CGI, one with makeup, but they did a really good job at the end. And the fact that they still kept it that way, it made it really good.
yeah. I was just like, oh, Isabel Furman. I was like, is she like 20 now? Like,
She's like
okay,
30.
um, okay. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. So that was first without confusing me what I saw. Then I remember when they like posted like the first screenshot of this, and you could just tell in the face she looks older. And it's like I get like suspension of disbelief, but uh, it was just really funny at the time. And also, she's not 30 yet. She's like me. She's like my
28.
age. Um, she pushing it though, just like me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, she I thought like she was good here, and I thought the movie itself was pretty good. I usually like Julia Stiles, for the most part in things that she's been in. So so she was like, I think she worked in this role, and then once we got to the halfway point and we figured out what was actually happening, that honestly that elevated the story a little more than it could have been, because I was really hoping they just didn't do the same thing when I first watched this. And once we got to the point when Julia Stiles' character pulled up and shot the damn detective, I was like, oh, what? And
Yeah.
then we actually find out everything. That definitely elevated the story a bit more to what it could have been. Um, I mean, well, that definitely elevated the story, as opposed to what I thought we were just going to get, which was just damn near almost like a retreading of what initially happened. But doing that with the way that they went about it, I thought was, a decent idea, because I don't know what else. If I was to make a prequel of this, I don't know what else I would have done to differentiate it from the first one. So I feel as though that whole thing kind of helped a bit more, and like us seeing like Esther's character, like, well, Esther kind of play into it a bit because she's been caught, but then they started pushing it. I don't know how long she would have went with it. Probably not like long as fuck, but like the it was really the son that was pushing the fuck out of it. Honestly, I
He
yeah, he
feel
was
fucking
pissing
stir.
me off.
it really
Oh
was
my
the
god.
son. I feel as though if he wasn't a factor, or if he was just chill, like, she probably would have went with it. I mean, she had everything she wanted, like, blah 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 blah, and eventually, like, I don't know, they could have faked her death or something like that. But yeah, it was that son, which we'll get to him later on, because even though Esther is the serial killer here, I wanted his ass gone.
Why don't we start by giving the standout moments and scenes that stood out for us? The good, the bad, the indifferent, and also the kills. Go on.
Scenes that I liked. Oh, when fucking when the brother like addresses her the first time after the mom told him everything, and he's like, yeah, you're like a freak, like, we don't really care about you, like, I don't have to be nice to you anymore. She slaps him, and then
The
he's
gig
like, you're not
ass.
gonna he's like, you're not gonna do that again. And then she slaps him again. Like, she should, well, I was about to say she should have stabbed his ass, but then she ended up doing exactly that. Like, I literally did not care once she took his ass out, because he was just a little dickhead. And I mean, some of this I want to save for the character portion, so I'll stop with that part at least, in regards to that scene. But yeah, that was a good one. Um, that scene when she almost pushed him in front of the train. I don't know why that was giving me like Family Guy when Stewie used to try to kill Lois and shit would
Yeah.
always happen.
Ow.
Because she really thought she was about to get both of the ass out of here. And then right after that, when she's like, "All right, we're not fucking around with you anymore. We're gonna kill your ass," like the mom, and Esther fights them back, sprays the son with the damn pepper spray, and gets in the car. And then when she's in the car, the officer pull up with her. She's like, "Was I going past the speed limit?" like, like this little bitch, bro.
Yeah. Ow.
I kind of fuck with her though. Like I was actually on her side in this one. Um, Another scene when she took out the damn um therapist at the beginning, like she didn't have to do that to her.
Mm-mm.
She did not have to do her like that.
It
What the
was her
time?
first day too.
Like girl, like damn, like she was just trying to get to her crib and everything. Like damn, you not to bash her fucking head in with a tire iron. Like she could have subdued her or something. Like come on now, we got options here, Esther. But that's it for me.
Elian, any scenes that stood out for you? Kills, good,
Uh,
bad, or indifferent?
the kill. Well, one of the scenes that really stood out to me was the obviously ish. It was kind of like it was like that imagery that like they knew how dangerous she was, but he was obsessed with her because he was basically a pedophile because he wanted her. He was fetishizing her, and that kill was so satisfying. Because I'm like, damn, look at you. Um, one scene about the stab was oh my god, I laughed at that. It was the gay guy, like, and I think for me, the kill that stood out for me was like literally when Esther is about to kill Gunner, and it was the fucking arrow. He's like, oh shit, and just like literally stabs him and then starts killing him. Um, Another scene that I would say it's like it's not a scene, but well, it is a scene. Is when she looks at the dad. Like obviously, you see that she's falling, and that shows me uh that it just shows me that she still has a human aspect of her. She's like quote unquote. I don't want to use the word misunderstood too vaguely, but she obviously shows she does show some form of emotion uh, that she obviously she can't have because every person that comes into her life sees her a little child and either fetishizes her, given from the first scene. So she never really had a normal life, which I felt that in the same. The scene that got me was how she had a pet rat and how she found out that the mom was trying to kill her and putting pills and putting her to sleep and puts the damn dead rat inside her smoothie. Oh, oh my god, that caught me off guard. That was so nasty. Um, and the scene, I just don't get it. Like that those your little dentures are gonna fall off so quickly. How did you let this man grab you like that? The man that you love, only for him to get your little dentures out, just to figure out that you're not even the doctor.
Well, let's move on to the character section. Gun- let's start with the dad because the dad, quite frankly, I think the we if they do make a third one, they need to change this because it's two movies in a row where the dad is just an idiot. Like, how are you not peeping that there's weird shit happening around this kid around you? You just letting this happen. Like
I
you
feel
don't see none of this.
Oh,
I feel
hold
like it
on.
was a bit different this one though.
Yeah, this one's definitely different.
What do you mean? What do you mean it was different this time, Tuan?
Well, I feel like it was different in the sense that imagine you think your daughter's been gone for 4 fucking years and you get her back. Like, I feel like you would take that a little more lightly and be more like more sensitive about it. Like, not saying you, I'm saying like like if you were the parent, like the mom, she knew what the fuck was up because she knew the bitch was dead. So she always knew something was off, but he didn't know anything about that whole thing with the mom and the son did. So he's been thinking for 4 years that his daughter's been missing. He's like, "Oh, I got my baby girl back. Like, she's into painting now. Like, she likes what I like. Blah 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 blah." So I feel like he probably it was kind of like that halo effect where he probably saw nothing wrong with his child in this point in time because of what just happened. And I mean, it's still pretty early. We don't know how long has passed since between she comes back and the house getting on fire. It only feels like a couple of weeks at most.
Uh, no, for real. The one thing I want to also add is like the difference between these two is like in the first film, the dad literally just saw the mom as crazy. and didn't even want to help out or didn't even acknowledge it. And just like Twan said, even and to his eyes, his daughter was lost. And the other one, we already know where the daughter was. And I felt as if in the first film, it was the mom that wanted the kid over the dad. To be fair, um, in this film, he never stopped looking for her because at the end of the day, just like Twan said, he didn't know what his wife and his son did. Well, technically, his son, shit, but anyway.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just I don't know. I just felt I still had no sympathy when he fell and died. If I'm being honest.
Like in that moment, like it was kind of 50-50 in that moment, but
Yeah.
also, but yeah,
I mean,
I
Esther
wouldn't
took a
compare
shot.
him. I wouldn't compare him to like the dad in the first one though. I feel like in the first
Nah.
one there was like a really long string of events happening that kind of led up to where we were. But I feel like in this one, not saying like Esther was chill, but she was compared to what she was doing in the first one compared to now. I feel like she there wasn't enough going on to say she was being weird yet.
And on top of that, we also have to take note that she was all for the plan too until the wife got jealous. One, two, the son Gunner didn't make it easy. Literally was just fucking playing mind games with her. And on top of that, she tried to fucking kill her with the pill. And that's when, and I find it really ironic that she's, the deal's over, even though you're the one that was like instigating.
Well, let's move over to Gunner. What are your thoughts on the prodigal son?
Fuck that hoe. God, irritating. And the fact it's so mind boggling saying like the mom said, "Oh, I loved her so much," yet you didn't defend her from like from the constant abuse that your son did. You let it happen, and the fact that you want to say that you loved her was so anticlimactic or like just such like a hypocrite for her to say because she allowed the abuse to keep going and look what happened. And instead of like to get it, the mother's love, wanted to protect her son. She should have made her son a better person, wanting for him to just be a piece of shit, a spoiled brat at most.
Yeah, that fucking he was a little fucker. That's what he was. Um, he was he was definitely pissing me off like in this one, and I was like honestly at the point where he started acting up to her, and then the mom like switched to. I was like, man, fuck y'all. Actually, I'm on Esther's side because y'all killed
No,
your
for
daughter.
real.
Y'all killed your daughter, his sister, or he killed his sister, and you helped him cover it up and said the daughter was missing for 4 years, and like you were just gonna let that slide, like, but it and cover up for your fucked up ass son. Like this is the type of kid, like they go to college, they do some shit like sexual assault, something like this, and the mom's like, they cover it up. They get
No,
somebody to
for
cover it
real.
up. Like he's in that type of situation where the mom is gonna do anything to cover it up. Like her son is like a god almost. Like he could do anything. And even the way he was acting like to Esther, like he's like like you're like a little freak, like an immigrant like you, like they're not gonna believe you, like they
Oh
need
my
people like
god.
me, like but
No, they
like
don't.
we see the subtext, we know what's going on, but I mean, it's people in that class that are like that, and they don't, you don't just one day wake up and act like that. That's ingrained in you from your surroundings.
Hmm.
And he was just a little fucker. And I was glad when she stabbed his ass up
Oh my
um
god.
with that
I wish
damn
it was
bow.
begging. I genuinely wish it was begging.
I mean with that arrow.
What was it? I wish what I wish they did is what made me laugh. when how Esther said, "Go fuck yourself," and that that night in. But when she started speaking Russian, I think it was Russian or I think Russian. I'm not gonna say if it is or um, where she's like, I fucking hate you. I will cut your balls out and I will feed them
Oh
to
yeah,
your
to his
fetus. So she's
friend.
yeah. I wish she did something to the friends because that pissed me the fuck off. I was like, oh, like, ugh. Anyway, sorry, I just had to add that part.
You good?
Well, let's move on over to Trisha. What do you guys think of the deceptive, devious mother?
Oh, I said I just find her. I say this as a joke, not in all seriousness. I found her a little sexist. How she said, "Oh, I love my daughter. I cherish her." Yet you allowed your son to keep on abusing her to the point that he actually killed your daughter,
Hmm.
and then protected him and lied about it and hid the body in the where you threw the detective's body as well.
Yeah, that was crazy. Um, I like the I like Julie Stiles in this role. Honestly, it was really funny once we did get to that twist part of it. How that switch up happened quickly, because like it really even near the beginning, like when she was first just interacting with her, like I didn't feel like she was interacting with her daughter at certain parts. Like she, which it also could be like you haven't seen your child in a while, so like this is feels like different. At least before we found out what was actually going on, but like there were just little nuggets there where she like how the therapist said that it felt like Esther was performing. It felt like she was also performing, which she was, because her character helped like cover up the death of the daughter, so she knew Esther wasn't her real daughter. So she was in a sense kind of like performing as being a mom, but not actually like being a mom. When you can kind of tell in parts
Right.
when that was going on. But once the switch happened and she was trying to get in like bad bitch mode, like that was pretty funny. How she immediately switched into like her bit like a businesswoman persona. Like, okay, you have this problem, I have this problem. You're fucked if we out you, and I'm fucked if you out me. So let's help each other. Simple as that. And this that plan only would have worked if for two things. One, Esther didn't get attracted to the father, and two, the son. So it was never going to work out the way that this situation was, because the son was a dickhead, and Esther, I mean, I was about to say she has a thing for older men, but that is a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah, you cannot falter.
so,
You really falter.
so like she actually be liking men at her own age range.
I just go back
uh,
like, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm talking. I'm over to
no,
another.
you're fine. No,
No,
you're
no,
good.
yeah.
But yeah, it was never really gonna work. But but the Trisha or Julie Stiles as Trisha, like that, I feel like that worked for her.
Mark, your
Oh,
opinion?
well, Tuan, what are your thoughts on Esther slash Lena?
I was more on her side this time around.
Mhm.
I mean, she's still a serial killer, but like compared to the first one, it wasn't. I like compared to the first one where I was like, okay, you doing too much, and you driving Vera Farmiga insane right now. Like
Oh,
you,
so bad.
like you were actually torturing that woman, as opposed to infiltrating rich family and taking them down from the inside. I mean, shit, that's just the plot to Knives Out.
Mm.
I
Yes.
mean, I kind of fucks with that, but I do like how she was going with it because she did see the predicament that she was in when Trisha approached her with like the whole thing. She like kind of thought about it. When I was first watching it, I thought that she was gonna like. I didn't think she was gonna crash out on her, but I thought it was gonna turn into like some cat and mouse type of thing before, um, or like just something different than what we actually got there. Like she's performing for the family and friends, playing the piano, being a good daughter. um, but I mean, she did have it made there. Like she was getting everything that she wanted, but what she wanted was too much, and that was Trisha's man. And Trisha was like, "I ain't gonna let you get my man." But now both her and her man are next to each other forever.
Elian.
Um, I'm kind of just gonna piggyback on. At the same time, it's just like for me, it's like after the first film, like everybody just thought she was a serial killer, which I understand because the first film. But this film kind of just like after just seeing some things, I realized she just kills because she wants to be loved in a sense, and she can't even get and it's obviously because you look back and you obviously see that she's done this so many times. And like it's obviously that she personally is in pain, and that's why she does it because she'll never actually have love in her life because people are just gonna the men that she wants are just gonna see her as a fetish over actually liking her for who she is because of her disorder. Um, Definitely Team Esther on this one just because I'm like you literally are you got fucked. Like you literally was you could have done. I mean, you could have kept going, but you actually funny enough, you chose to stay because you fell in love at that 1 second. You could have been free. You could have escaped with all the money. Yeah, you chose to stay and you got fucked up, especially since you didn't know the backstory. Since the mother literally killed her own daughter. But that's all I can.
Well, Tuan, since we've come to the end, can you please give us behind the scenes info and facts?
So the box off. Fuck, can't get shit right. So the budget for Orphan First Kill is unknown to us at the time of recording, but it brought in a box office of 45.6 million. The movie did have a limited theatrical release in the U.S., Canada, and the Philippines, but it was mostly relegated to being a Paramount Plus exclusive. Some interesting facts. One of this film's goal as a prequel was to cover up as much criticized plot hole in the first film, which was how exactly did Esther get from Estonia to an American orphanage without having been dropped off by anybody. Even with forged paperwork, Esther would not have been able to simply show up with it. For scenes where Esther is with other actors, the crew used various techniques like having Furman kneel on the ground, stand in a trench, or use other tricks to make her appear shorter as cast members the same height as Furman wore platform shoes to make her appear even shorter. Excuse me. Isabel Furman later revealed that she played a key role in the project's green light following a real life adoption scandal. In 2014, an Indiana couple, Christine and Michael Barnett, were charged with child abandonment of their then 9-year-old foster child with dwarfism, Natalia Grace, 2 years earlier, by claiming her to secretly be an adult and by changing her legal age to 22. The case received widespread media attention in 2019 when the Barnetts confirmed they had been inspired to abandon Grace after watching Orphan. Damn. In August 2022, when asked about his approach to making the sequel, Bell stated that there would need to be a third film in order for Orphan to be considered a franchise. Later, Furman expressed interest in continuing to portray the character in additional films. Bell later stated that should the prequel prove to be successful, a third film could be developed. The film currently sits at a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good. The Austin Chronicle gave it 3 out of 5 stars, writing, what makes Orphan First Kill worthwhile is that it acknowledges the original before taking a hard left turn into overblown soapy madness. The Guardian wrote, "The most disappointing thing about the film is that it has none of the spark or originality of the first one and just parasitically drains its source material, incorporating details like the creepy blacklight drawings and the borderline pedophilic subtext without adding anything substantial." Slant Magazine gave 1 out of 4 stars, writing, "William Brent Bell's film proves that not every horror concept has the potential to be franchised."
Well, enough about them. What about us? Do we cash or pass? Orphan First kill. For me, I'm gonna give it a cash. This was actually an interesting movie. They did something interesting with the concept. They didn't just do paint by numbers and give us what they've already give us. They tried something different, something fresh, and I enjoyed it. It is a cash. What about you, Twan?
I actually would give it a cash. I did like this. This is one of those ones that when you first see it announced and all of that, especially when it did come out, which was 2022, it was like, was this going to be good? But this was a nice little surprise. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but for, a good little popcorn watch with some friends, or if I just want to put something on, like, this isn't a bad watch. And I think it does good as being a prequel. I never really was one to ask like some of those questions that came up about Esther in the original, like how did she get from there to here, or things like that. I would say that never really crossed my mind. It's just because it's just a movie. Like, shit happens. Was whatever the writer wanted it to be, but yeah, the story works out here, and I like the twist that it gave as well, and that we started rooting for her.
Elian?
Oh, I would cash this film. Like like I do have my critiques on this film. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I wish I had other things to do with it, or like I wish it was a different version. But one, it's still a good film to watch. I like just like Tom said, I'd still watch it with like friends or something, or like um, just introduce it. Another like, it still had some good like plot twists. Like like it still had that. It was very engaging, the film, where I still wanted to know what was going on. So at the end, I cashed.
Well, Twan, tell us what we're going to be reviewing next week.
Honestly, next week we're going to be reviewing The Skeleton Key, starring Kate Hudson. I Mark asked us to pick a movie for a one-off, and I had recently watched this one a couple of weeks back with my parents, and I remember I seen this movie when I was younger, but really didn't know what was going on. But now that I know what's going on, oh, we about to have fun.
It changes everything.
We about to have fun
Should I,
discussing this one.
should I
It's
know,
definitely
or would I be good? Would I be okay?
you
Yo,
shouldn't.
yeah, just
You
watch the
shouldn't.
movie. Just know this bitch was too nosy.
Yep, but that's for next week. Until then, good night. I will say that you should watch it ahead of time because you're going to watch it again after the ending. Just because you can see.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a letter to media production.
Should we do an intro?